Aloha, this is Myriam, and in this video I want to show you how to do basic hand movement here. Okay, so if you notice, the movement comes from the wrist. Like the wrist needs to go up and down, or originates here, right? And lift up and down. Our fingertips need to be together, but you don't need to be stiff. So sometimes, like if you notice my fingertips, I've been dancing for so long, my fingertips just flow and follow like their own little patterns. So it's okay to add that. What you want to make sure that you're not missing is that your fingers, you don't want them spread apart. That's the only thing. You don't want them spread apart when you're dancing hula. Also, this thumb, you don't want it out, okay? We want it inside, like close to the other fingers. Because in my halau, I do not teach with the thumb out, okay? You might find other halau, they don't say anything about the thumb, and that's okay. You respect whatever the rules are in that halau. But if you're wanting to learn from me, we don't put the thumb out. We always keep it together and slightly underneath your other fingers, okay? Just slightly. I know if you're a beginner for hands, it might feel a little uncomfortable and you might feel a little stiff, and that is completely okay. That's completely normal, okay? But let me show you the movement. First, you want to pull back. So if you notice, there is no flexion on my fingertips. I'm actually kind of doing like a little mountain here. That's my dog. I'm actually doing kind of like a mountain and touching the middle here, middle finger with my thumb, okay? Now, this is not like, once you practice enough, you won't really need to be rubbing and doing this. You can let go of that and it would just be like it's just a slow motion, like it barely touches, right? But when you're first like teaching yourself, it's okay to do this, to just don't rub really hard, right? Like don't press those two fingers really hard. But because if you try to press it here or press it here, it just doesn't feel like, it feels weird. So that's why we're doing my middle finger. And then you want to kind of start on from here to here. So it's like your middle phalanges or whatever, like from this joint to this joint. You want to kind of touch from here to here, from here to here, and let it go, right? Now your fingers and your mind will want you to do this, to go into the tip of this finger and to round. But that's the part that you don't want to do, or at least I do not teach it like that, because then the movement looks like this, right? And I personally do not think it looks graceful. I like to bring it back and let it go. I think of my hands as waves. And I also tell my students that think of your hands as your flower buds, right? Like this is the stem, your body is the stem, these are your little branches, here's the main flower, and these are your little buds, right? So you want your hands to be as delicate and graceful as you can during your dance. So you will pull like this to practice. You can pull in from more or less, I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly on that line, right? But I'm just letting you know, like you're not starting down here and you're not going all the way to the tip, okay? You're just going around this section, okay? So basically when you flex here and this peak comes up, your thumb should naturally touch somewhere there. So you might have a little longer thumb, you might have a little like smaller or shorter thumb, it's okay. So you just want to touch, but just make sure, see the fingertips remain straight, right? Like I'm not folding them, so remain straight. And then it comes a moment where it feels uncomfortable in my hand to keep pulling back. So you're gonna have to feel, your hands, feel them, feel the movement. Because it comes a time where it just doesn't go back anymore and it just feels too forced. And that's when you need to release, like right before that, you release. So you pull back, and when it starts feeling a little uncomfortable, you release. Pull back, release, 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 pull back, release. I know it looks kind of funny, but when you're having your arm extended, you know. And like, I don't really rub those fingers anymore. Like they barely caress each other, okay? But this movement can literally, I'm in between the palm tree here, but this movement literally, you can do, I'm gonna do it this side, that way you can see it, because if I do it on the side, you barely see it. But you can use it anywhere, okay? Like any single place that you do that. If you're talking about your lips and turning around, if you're talking about the eyes, if you're talking about the heart, if you're talking about the love, like it literally will like work for anything, right? Like anytime that you're swaying hands for any hand motion, right? Like if you're going into a valley or something. So that's the hand movement that you're going to be practicing, right? Is that pull in, release, pull in, release. So knowing that it's like wrist movement, and pulling in, relax, pull in, relax. Notice this peeking here. Don't force the hand, and then just feel it, you know, naturally let your hands do a movement. What we're looking for here, the most important part is fingers together, thumb not sticking out, thumb nearby, and no this, like you don't want to roll them in. So those are the main things, okay? Main things. The rest, just let it flow. Right? So your hand movement might not look exactly like mine, but if you have in consideration those things, they're gonna do great for your hands. Like they're gonna help you greatly with the hand movement, just understanding this, that it comes from the wrist, and then you're not folding, then your fingers are together, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you wanna learn hula with me, you can check my box there on Patreon. I will teach you Kahiko Hula, I will teach you Awana, and I will show you how to do every single step. I will teach you the choreographies step by step, and you can perform them wherever you want to. And that's it, guys. Aloha.